Welcome to Shore Perspectives, a community feature of WESR Radio, highlighting the spirit of the shore from those who call it home.
My name is Paul Nolz, and I'm the pastor of the Rock Church, and I've coached Nandua High School and Nandua Middle School for many years. While I was doing the high school, which branched, believe me, I'm not smart enough to branch into what it is today. Ideas would just come up, or parents would approach me. You know, that program from coaching in that beginning league, and then high school, eventually middle school, because I wanted more time with a young man to develop him. So coaching at the middle school, I would be first introduced to a young man or a young lady in the 6th grade. So instead of having 4 years with them, I could have 7 years of spending time with them. Since then, it branched into, a camp that Jeanette Edwards from Tony Edwards, who owned the seafood place before he sold it, she approached me about doing a camp. At that time in my life, we pioneered this church, or the Rock Church. At first it couldn't even afford to pay me a salary to pastor. So I had no money to even take my family on a vacation. And so talking with some people I respect, they said, well, do the camp. You can maybe make a couple $100 and be able to bless your family and take them to Williamsburg or something, go camping. And so I did that, but that camp that we started, well over 30 years ago, started with 6 people, and 2 of those were my kids. So I did make $200, and it was enough to get me off of the shore and get, some time with my family. 2 years later, that camp, just one camp, it grew from like 20 or 30 people. It exploded to 75 kids just showed up over at the Olden Hancock High School, and I was like, what in the world how am I going to manage safely 75 soccer players? And so I got on the phone quick and started calling some of my high school players. I said, if you'll help me, I'll pay you. Come on over here. Which then grew to sometimes well over 100, fluctuates 80 to 120 kids. But what mushroomed out of that was a leadership program. Again, developing young men to be responsible, to have one hand back, helping people coming behind, and one hand out as they're being pulled up to a place of really fatherhood, of teaching them how to interact with young kids, so one day they would know how to interact and connect with their own sons and their own daughters. So from there, I always felt a little guilty that it wasn't always something that connected people to the church or something spiritual. So I said, well, there's 100 kids coming to this other camp. I wonder if they would come to a camp at the church and I could share Bible stories, because I'm not a pipe cleaner type of guy. My picture in 1st grade never got up on the board. Believe me, I have no artistic skill whatsoever. So we bought 30 t-shirts, hoping that 30 people might show up. 7 days, 30 families signed up, and with a waiting list. And that experience that I kind of bumbled into from signing up my kids late to being called by Mr. Thomas to try to earn vacation money, but still trying to use what was in my hand to help people, and not just help people in my church, but to make a difference in my community. You know, the community adopted me. And so pre-COVID, I got a call from a friend. He was being trained to pastor a rock church in Fiji. And he had a soccer background. That was kind of our informal connection. And he said, would you come to Fiji? And because we would talk about how God had blessed and God had given me this idea about camp when nobody was doing camps on the Eastern Shore. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I was like, you know, this could work in a third world country where soccer is a religion. The awesome thing is that we were able to take this what I would metaphorically say, this little baby of a camp in the culture of it that was birthed here on the Eastern Shore, but it grew and it matured for about 30 years till, I guess, God said, yeah, you really got this thing organized and you can cause it to flex and adjust to kind of work anywhere. We went to the poor side of the island of Fiji. The kids showed up, no shoes. They used, for keeper gloves, they would take their flip-flops and put it between their fingers so when the ball came in, it would sting their hands. They would have the cushion of a flip-flop. The second year, we went to a village, which I liked better because moms brought their little kids out, and the moms would stay with my wife and other people that were helping out. And in Fiji, if you're not familiar with that, the thing that freaked me out is that when a native citizen of Fiji comes to you, but when that child speaks to you, Oxford English comes out of their mouth because they were colonized by the English. The Fiji culture is very, very embracing. So let's say if I came over your house to eat dinner, then when I get ready to leave, they actually have a song and they sing it to you that expresses their gratitude and their appreciation of your relationship with them, and that they hope to see you again soon. So without us knowing, the moms had organized the kids on the last day of camp to sing this song to us. And they sang it in their native language first, but then they sang it in English. And I'll say there wasn't a dry eye, because you just felt, you knew from their heart they deeply appreciated that humanitarian act. We had companies that donated cleats and soccer balls and jerseys and Adidas soccer shorts. It was quite moving. Again, you know, God's granted me grace, great players, great families, and I've been able to bring some recognition to the shore with, you know, 2 state championships and other things. So I don't know. I'm on the home stretch of life now, so I'm not ready to go anytime soon, but I do hope to have the health and the energy to change lives for the glory of God.
For Shore Perspectives and WESR Radio, I'm Kelley Gaskell.